Greetings, friends! For today's art activity, we are going to draw a picture of a hot air balloon. We are going to use patterns to decorate our hot air balloon. You're going to think about what kind of patterns you might want to put on your hot air balloon. For the materials that we need for today's activity, you're going to want to start with a piece of paper. A piece of white paper or notebook paper would work. Or if you don't have those, look through your recyclables for a piece of white cardboard. Sometimes the inside of a box or an envelope might be white and you can use that. Also, if that's not an option, brown cardboard works wonderful as well. You can definitely draw on brown cardboard, and when it's finished, it actually gives it kind of a nice vintage feel. You're going to need something to trace a circle with. Something that's kind of a medium size, not too big, not too small, something that kind of fits on your paper nicely. Make sure it is okay that you use that object for tracing with before you trace with it. Usually when we trace around an object with a pencil or a marker, it can sometimes leave a little mark on the side of that object, so make sure it's okay you use it before you trace around it. The next thing we're going to need is a pencil or a pen or a marker, something that you can draw with for drawing your hot air balloon design. Once your design is all done, it is up to you whether or not you want to color it in. If you do choose to color it in, you can use markers, colored pencils, crayons, whatever it is that you might have, maybe some paints if you have paints at home, whatever it is that you have that you might want to use to color in your picture. So now let's gather up our materials and let's get to work. We are going to use different kinds of lines and shapes to make patterns to decorate our hot air balloon. Here are a few different kinds of lines that you might want to use. And here are some examples of different kinds of patterns you can make using shapes. Think about what kinds of patterns you want to make for your hot air balloon. I'm going to start by tracing a circle for the top of my hot air balloon. I'm going to use a pencil and I'm going to hold my hand at the bottom of the circle, and I am just going to simply trace the part of the circle that is not touching my hand. So I'm going to stop right there. I'm not going to trace that bottom section. That is where we're going to extend our lines down to create the bottom portion of the hot air balloon. A hot air balloon is not exactly a circle shape. It is sort of a circle where the bottom of it kind of comes down, almost like the shape of a light bulb. Now, I'm going to start with a pencil. I like working in pencil because if I make a mistake or I change my mind, it is simple and easy to fix it or change it. That looks good. Now, I'm going to draw the rest of my picture with a Sharpie. I'm going to use a black marker to draw the rest of my picture, just so that way it's easier for you to see when you are watching the video. The only problem with using a marker is that if I make a mistake, I'm going to have to live with it. You cannot erase a marker, so if you choose to draw with marker, then you're choosing to also be okay with any possible mistakes you might be making. I'm going to now draw the basket that hangs down from the hot air balloon. Just draw a simple square or rectangle, and then you can add any other details to it that you might want to. I'm going to decorate my basket with a pattern of diagonal lines that are crisscrossing each other. This pattern looks like a basket weave pattern. It's a very simple way to give it some texture with a pattern. Go ahead and attach the basket to your hot air balloon and then add any other details you might want. You can also draw somebody inside of your hot air balloon going for a ride. Now I'm adding a simple pattern of curved lines that kind of mimic the shape of the balloon. Now each side is different. The two on the left lean to the left and the two on the right lean towards the right. This will help our hot air balloon look more three-dimensional. I am now going to use my imagination and my creativity to come up with different kinds of patterns that I can use to decorate my balloon. I'm going to start by just dividing my balloon into spaces, and then I'm going to fill those spaces with different kinds of patterns. Now, you do not have to divide up the balloon into smaller spaces. I find that it helps to divide it up though, just so that way you can have a wider variety of patterns in your design. That looks wonderful. Now I'm going to take my time and fill in all of those spaces with all kinds of different patterns that might be important to me. I am going to add some clouds to the background of my picture. To draw a cloud, you simply kind of draw like a loop-de-loop line where the loop-de-loops are really tight together. And then a couple little curved lines. It's almost like a pattern that goes up and then back down to create the fluffiness of your cloud. I like to put one cloud kind of overlapping those lines between the basket and the hot air balloon. This helps to show that that space is open and you can see through it. I can continue to add clouds to the rest of my background until I am happy with the amount of clouds that I have put into my work of art. Once you are done drawing your picture, think about how you might want to color your artwork. What kind of materials might you want to use? Crayons, markers, colored pencils, or maybe even paint. Think about choosing colors that are important to you or maybe have a theme. For my hot air balloon, I decided to use all the colors of the sunset. Then I'm going to color in the background, add a little bit of color to the clouds, and my work of art is finished. Thanks for joining us today.